for gardening. This is February 26th, I think. It's Sunday, 2018, and take a shot of my garden there. I see some fish activity. Oh, it's so good to see my pond full. And these are old, last year's fireworks display, which I brought my bags out to clean that up. I'm gonna get to that. And just continue walking out here to the garden. And my weed whacker's in the shop, getting all primed up for the new year of cutting. And I got a ton of work to do out here. That is actually my asparagus bed, which has got a lot of weeds in it. And all the beds are pretty sad. Now, I am organic. Wonderful guy on that channel. He taught me that planting in pure compost all those years is why I started having failing crops, and of course no soil built up. I have not been tilling, but you add compost every year because the beds sink down to 50% of what they were, and that had a lot of good explanation. I cannot believe I did not get all these garden beds extended. I only got 3 of them. So this is what I've got to work with. My boards are rotting out. I'm not going to replace them. I was thinking of putting rocks that I gather around the property, logs that I gather around the property, all kinds of other options, but that's a lot of work, and you don't need it. It's pretty, but you don't need it. So I am just going to probably not have any sides on my garden beds. They're just going to be walkways between them. And this is where I had all my tomatoes. Can't believe it. Pretty sad state of affairs. And my little forested area around my pond. So island is my garden area with my raised beds, because all I have is rock here, so got to do that. And that's kind of a shot around the perimeter. There's my barn, my tractor, my peach tree that broke all the peaches off. And there's my doggie, little Peanut. Her loves her garden. She will pick your tomatoes and eat them. So, again, year before last, I planted my blueberries, and I put a video up on that. They did poor. I'm going to fill these smart pots up with soil, real soil. But there isn't even a blueberry stick out here. There's a stick in this smart pot, but I don't believe it's alive or well or anything. So, none of my blackberry sticks that I planted made it. Pretty sad when blackberries grow all over this place, wild. It's like, okay, you should just grow. And I've never had success with strawberries. I don't know. No success. And I had my strawberry pyramid that we built, and I'm going to fix that, throw some rocks on the low end side and build that up again. So I got my strawberries today from Walmart. I'm going to plant them like, oh, I forget the video. I'll put it in there. The guy on another video showed starting those strawberries indoors, so that's what I'm going to do. So I got a lot of work to do and don't know where to start. But like my saying goes, it's one ping pong ball at a time. Alright, I'm going to turn this off and go figure out what I'm going to do first. I think I'm going to clean up the 4th of July fireworks and then go from there. So, I'll be back. Before I forget to tell you, we're in Zone 6. We're in South Central Missouri. So, we're got a beautiful day right now, and I'm getting out here trying to get a jump on all the work that I need to do in my garden. I just finished cleaning up the last year's 4th of July displays, and I'll show you that. Okay, this was all cluttered with the remnants of the fireworks show that we put on. That's what's great about living in Missouri. We can actually light off those awesome fireworks. So, clean that all up. I'm going to straighten out my garden hoses, even though it's going to probably have some freezes. We have a freeze up to about April 1st, but that's okay. No biggie. I got lots of work to do before I can plant outside. And, I don't know. I'm taking all these boards off of around my garden beds. They're all rotted out. I'm going to get the hay out of the barn that's just laying on the floor. Rake that all up. Fill in all of the area that are walk paths just so I can get a jump on the weeds that are going to grow. If we have a couple more days like today, those things will get a foot tall in no time. So, I'm going to nip that in the bud. That's probably what I'm going to do first. There's too much to do. And I bought me some weed block, and I'm going to put over my beds to protect the soil right now from the rain, so it'll have a chance to dry out so that I can start planting when I need to. And also, it'll help kill off some of the weeds in the bed. Although, like one of my videos shows you, weeds are good for your garden. I have showed you that my beets and my onions were sturdy and big, 3 times as big as the ones without the weeds. But you don't necessarily have to grow weeds. I think my cover was clover, and I didn't plant it. I think it was what the previous person had fed his goats, and I used his goat manure as compost. So I had a lot of clover in that, and of course it just took off. Clover's really hard to get rid of, so I'm going to have to look for a better cover crop. Either that or I'm going to densely plant so my plants are very close together, and then put some straw or hay in between. I don't have any weed, seed, hay, nor straw, but it has been laying out there in the barn for quite a while, so I'm going to use it anyway. I fight weeds all the time. I just heard a fish jump back here, but I don't see any further movement. I've got all kinds of catfish and bass and turtles and snapping turtles. Oh, they're scary. Anyway, I'm going to continue working. I think my next project is to go get wheelbarrows full of hay. Dang! I don't know where to start. I think that's where I'm going. So, I'll be back. Alright, this is the hay, it's alfalfa, that I took from the barn. It's about 100 pounds. It's heavy. Crap. Too heavy. We're not supposed to have rain any rest of the week here, so it's a good time for me to go ahead and get the hay laid down on my walkways. That'll keep the weeds down. I'll tell you, with a week of no rain, after we've had this nice heavy rain, these weeds are going to be 2 feet high in a week's time. So I'm going to nip that in the bud right now. Unveil these, start laying it down thick on all my walkways. So this stuff is too rich for the pony. That's alfalfa. And I'm going to see if I can have a stellar garden this year. Crossing my fingers. Wish me luck. It's hard work. Lovely stuff though. I'm out in the sunshine. It's a wonderful day here. Nice, crisp, cool air. Lovely. And there are no chemtrails right now. That's an awesome thing, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Just went and got my second bale. I'm going to go ahead and start with these 2 bales. Start spreading them around on the walkways. And then I'll see how many more I got to bring out here. Well, let's take a look. Okay, let's get rolling. Just spreading them around, then I'll fluff them out. These are pretty dense. These bales were about 70 pounds. We'll see how much fluff I get out of those. While I'm doing this, I'll go ahead and take out my rotten boards. Alright, I'll let you watch a couple of, if it shows. Wish I had a cameraman. That's what I need the kids here. These would work great, but I don't have enough hay to leave 3-inch flakes. I'd run out of hay real soon. It'd be hard to walk on, so breaking them apart is the only way to do it. Lots and lots of work. One of my other tasks, hopefully I don't get worn out, is going out to the forest. I'm going to dig up some soil. I don't really like disturbing the soil, but even if I bought topsoil in a bag, that's all disturbed. So I've got to do what I've got to do. And according to I Am Organic, I need to put more topsoil, real soil, not just compost. My beds were mostly compost, and I will use some compost, but I need some soil, and I'll just have to go from there and build the soil structure by not disturbing it every year. But when I get it out of the forest, I don't really have a choice, but I have to dig it up. I can't afford topsoil bags, and like I said, they're already broken all apart. At least when I get out of the forest, it's got lots and lots of leaves, and it's been left alone for years and years and years. That stuff is soft. And I'm just going to manually go out there with a shovel. Good exercise. And bring over the soil and the leaves, the fungi, and the bacteria, and all the good stuff from the organic growth that's been going on here for eons. So that ought to be awesome. That's what I'm going to use for my topsoil in my beds. So, just going to go along here and start spreading this out, and I'll be back and show you when I'm finished. Alright. My puppy dog is watching me while I spread my hay, and she's munching on peach seeds, so she's getting a bunch of good laetrile. Yeah, she'll be cancer-free in no time. And so far, 1 bale. Keep on at it. Keep on trucking. Alright, I couldn't help but stop along the way. I was going down the path here by the asparagus bed that you knew and saw before that had tall 2 and 3 foot weeds and old asparagus spears, and I went ahead and pulled all of those out, broke them off, did not disrupt the root system. So whatever roots were in there are still in there, so the soil was not disturbed as far as that goes. Just everything broken off the top, and whatever little weed things I've got in here now, I don't know what they are, but I don't know, not for sure. Maybe some of you guys can tell me, but I'm not going to worry about those because they cover the soil. So I am going to be covering this soil, but first I'm covering my paths. Just wanted to stop and show you that I went ahead and cleaned up asparagus bed, threw all the trash out of that bed all into my walkways, and I'm just going to cover those with my hay and let them decompose on their own. It's been a beautiful day. I've been hearing the fish jump. I've been hearing some geese go overhead. And how gorgeous is that? Alright, I shall return when I do some more. It hasn't taken me that long, actually. I've probably been at this for